Hello, NGS. I'm here. I'm SwingTime. I'm here with Odd Thought tonight. Odd Thought, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Swing, and hello, Internet. Hello, NGS fans.
Yeah, and we've got a great match for you guys tonight. This is a big match in Division C West. We've got Arrogant Nephalem facing off against Virtual Murky Slayers. And I did put together a quick standing slide just so you guys can see how close this is. We've got Arrogant Nephalem. They're showing as 8-0 right now, Odd Thought.
Yes, indeed. They're just dominating.
Virtual Murky Slayers, they're tied for second place. They're 5-1. So I'm definitely expecting an exciting match tonight between these two teams.
Yeah, and we were talking before the cast started. We were both looking over the stats, and they're incredibly even in almost every category.
Yeah, the only difference that I noticed, it looked like Arrogant Nephilim might be a little bit better at getting those Merc camps, so that's something we might want to keep an eye on during the match to see if it ends up having an impact.
Yeah, a little bit of macro superiority perhaps out of Arrogant Nephilim. Maybe contributing to that perfect record so far this season.
Yeah, so do you think Arrogant Nephilim is under more pressure because they want to stay perfect? Or do you think they're feeling pretty relaxed right now?
I know as a perfect person that I always fear losing my perfection, so I really empathize with their position, and that was sarcasm.
I know. No, I know. Oh, I know.
Yeah, nobody wants to lose that 0, in the 6-0. So I don't know. I wonder what their locker room sounds like right now.
Yeah. 1 second, we're just waiting to make sure both teams are ready. So our first map tonight is actually going to be on Infernal Shrines. Let me get that updated so it's showing properly.
Yeah, and that was Arrogant Nephilim's map pick, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, yep.
So
they got to choose if they wanted
advantage.
Yeah, they got to choose if they wanted to pick the map for game 1 or get a first hero pick, and they wanted that map choice. For everybody who's interested, the bans were Cursed Hollow and Volskaya. And map 2 is going to be played on Towers of Doom, for those of you looking ahead. All right.
Yeah, it looks like, oh, sure. Looks like Arrogant Nephilim's been on Infernal Shrines twice so far this season. Virtual Murky Slayers once. So neither team is a stranger to it.
All right, well, here we go into Infernal Shrines. So, I know we're talking, Odd Thought, about some of the hero choices that we've been seeing coming out from these two teams. With Arrogant Nephilim really prioritizing Jaina and Deckard, especially. At the stats we were looking at, we only saw 6 games reported so far, but they had played it in 5 of those games.
Yeah, that's really smart. Those two heroes are dominating the league right now, and I'm sure it's contributing to their record so far.
Yeah.
Not going to see, they like Yrel, Arrogant Nephilim does, playing her in 3 out of 6 games, but not tonight. She just got banned.
Yeah, I see Virtual Murky Slayers have definitely done their homework. That Jaina is gone, and the Yrel is gone, and Arrogant Nephilim, they do not want to deal with any cheesy specialists today, it looks like.
No, we may see a Ragnaros perhaps on this map out of Arrogant Nephilim, though.
Yes, I have seen them play that. Yep, I have seen them play that Ragnaros in the past. I know they really like it on this map. We've got Whitemane coming in as the first pick for Virtual Murky Slayers. And there's the Deckard we were talking about, and there is that Ragnaros.
I love playing Ragnaros on this map. It just covers so many bases. His kit just works incredibly well.
Yeah, and Dekilidin is, I believe, the player that normally plays the Ragnaros for Arrogant Nephilim, and does an excellent job on that hero. Whoa, okay, we've got Zeratul and Falstad as the next picks for Virtual Murky Slayers. That surprises me a little bit.
Well, they're serving up some globals. They're serving up some mage damage, perhaps with Falstad, and some sneaky play with Zeratul. Zeratul also does have some AOE damage on hand, so can be quite useful at the actual objective points as well.
Another hero that Arrogant Nephalem has really prioritized is Johanna, and that also is sniffed out, and those dreams are shattered by virtual Murky Slayers.
Garrosh ban isn't too surprising from Nephilim. They have banned Garrosh 66% of the time, so they're not a fan of playing against all that displacement and general annoyance.
I can't say that I blame them. It is a game changer. You really have to watch your positioning. And it's going to be Muradin and Dahaka. I'm really liking this draft so far out of Arrogant Nephilim.
Yeah, super strong tank, can do it all. And Dahaka is great in terms of stuns. You have the global to match the Falstad, so really smart pickup there. Excellent solo laner. No complaints from me so far on either of these drafts, frankly.
A noob and the Malthiel. What an interesting draft coming out from Virtual Murky Slayers.
So PvE is really important on this map, in my view, and Malthael does a great job with that, especially if he has that zippity doodah horse that runs around at super high speeds from level 1.
I love that. Zippity doodah horse.
Yes, and Anubrak is kind of a sneaky, effective hero right now.
Okay, we're gonna get
Gul'dan.
Gul'dan.
But Anubrak serving up those stuns, probably the cocoon for extra control, so
Yeah, and setting up with a void prism from Zeratul, possibly.
And Malthael riding in with that last rites.
I can't wait to see how it's gonna work. Yeah, I'm really interested. I feel like Arrogant Nephilim's draft is a little more straightforward, but I think we're going to see some really cool stuff from Virtual Murky Slayers here.
Yeah, definitely some more unusual picks, including Whitemane, who has been really popular since her release, but she is new to NGS, so we don't have a lot of data on her quite yet in the league, so this will be instructive, if nothing else.
Definitely, and I know you've played quite a bit of Whitemane, so any insight you have to, talent choices or heroic choices is very welcome.
If I have some insight, I will share it.
And Gravesville, raiding with a party of 17. Thank you so much.
Ooh, welcome, everybody.
And it sounds like your mic might be a little quiet, so I'll see what I can do, but not before we introduce our teams. On the blue side, for Arrogant Nephilim, we've got Trabe on Gul'dan, Null Pointer on Deckard, Segatai on the Muradin, Dahaka played by Kime, and Killidan will be playing the Ragnaros.
And on the red side, we have Virtual Murky Slayers, Zeratul, played by Fake News Nate, Falstad, played by Naxa Maxa, Malthael, played by Swagneros, Anubrak, played by a Brewer 2, and Seabrisket will be playing Whitemane.
All right, both teams sending all 5 to the middle lane just to poke each other a bit.
So Whitemane, I'm seeing Martyrdom level 1. Each stack of Desperation increases Desperate Please healing by 30. So we're doing a Q build here, which is generally accepted as the strongest way to build Whitemane. So that's interesting. 7 stacks already on Shifting Meteor for Ragnaros. That was quick.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Killidan plays a mean Ragnaros.
What else are we seeing on talents? We have Scroll of Identify out of Deckard. Third Wind out of Muradin, so going for more of a sustain approach, which is pretty smart for this map.
Yeah, no corruption stacking for Gul'dan, like you mentioned, Pursuit of Flame. That's interesting.
Let's see, what else do we have? Greater Cleave.
We've got Wingman coming out from Falstad as well. So we'll be able to do some bribing, some camps.
Yeah, I like that on this map. The Mercs are actually a huge part of macro play.
Yeah,
So
and
that's pretty
speaking
smart.
of which, there goes Arrogant Nephalem. We talked about the fact that they do capture a large number of Merc camps per game, and they've already got the first one.
Malthael went for Fear the Reaper level 1, so that's the personal movement speed as opposed to the mount. Little note there.
Yeah. Maybe just, a little worried about kind of getting caught, with all the stuns and roots and everything. Get a little speed boost to maybe escape, Decker's roots.
Right. I mean, it allows you to play more aggressively because you have some kind of escape, right?
Yeah.
You play Malthael, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do play Malthael.
How often do you go with that talent?
I used to always pick something different. I just started taking the mount speed one, and it feels really good. So our first shrine is going to be up in the top lane. We've already got Falstad and Malthael up here. Kime just stoking that top lane. Oh,
Zeratul taking a ton of damage done by Red Siege Camp.
He's able to blink out, but he's going to have to Hearth. So, got a big fight going on by the Siege Camp. Here, it looks like both teams are just going to kind of walk away.
Yeah, not a lot came of that. I guess nobody wants to be too aggressive right before the objective.
Got Malthael in there, starting to pick up some minions. Here comes a Ragnaros.
Killidan's not afraid. Moving on in there. No problem.
There's that root we talked about.
Stuns coming out on Kime. Burrow in from a brew or two.
Murden getting really low, is having to back off a little bit.
That's where third wind's going to come in handy. Just recharge, go back in. But Naxamax are doing a great job of continuing to pressure Murden.
Here we go with Molten Core. So in goes Arrogant Nephalem with the Molten Core going off. They're going to take over control of the shrine temporarily.
That's one reason why I love Ragnaros. He has that early ultimate basically in his trait.
Yeah, look at the numbers of the minions, and boom. Speaking of boom, Trabes is going to go down here on the Gul'dan. Swagneros getting very low on Malthael.
First kill goes to Virtual Murky Slayers, but first Punisher goes to Arrogant Nephalem.
Right away, you see Dahaka moving down to the bottom lane to make sure he's getting soaked down there. Wagneros gets leaped on by the Punisher and is going to die.
Oh, the humanity. Brewer 2 also super low. It's just going to back reset.
Punisher down, top wall, and the well are gone.
Naxamax on Falstad, using that global ability to shoot on down to bot lane, start getting some of that XP off the blue minions. Looks like we're having a rotation down by Arrogant Nephalem. Maybe a pick here, at least an attempt, or thinking about it.
Falstad gonna barrel roll to safety.
Looks like we're just in a map maintenance phase, although top lane to Killidan. Really aggressive positioning there.
Yeah, fake news. Nate is going to have to back on Zeratul.
And here's Arrogant Nephalem prioritizing camps slightly sooner. Kind of relates to that stat we talked about at the top of the show.
Yep, they just picked up Siege. They're going to grab the bottom Siege camp as well.
And Murden sort of solo invading Virtual Murky Slayer's Siege
Wow.
camp. Wonder if he'll get joined soon. Looks like Null Pointer's moving up.
Yeah, Zeratul should see this. We'll see if Virtual Murky Slayers decides to respond.
Some top lane pressure out of Virtual Murky Slayers. Maybe they were thinking we'll trade some siege damage for this camp.
Yep, that could be. Arrogant Nephalem goes in to try to gank Falstad, but Maxa? Actually, it's easy to say once you say it once, isn't it? Maxa is able to barrel roll away again, so staying safe, doing a great job, not getting picked off there.
3v1, it's a valiant defense here from Falstad, but the gate and both towers are gone now.
We are going to have heroics for both teams before the next shrine. In fact, Arrogant Nephalem hits level 10, and we're going to have the Horrify. Lornado is going to be the choice for Deckard. Avatar for the Muradin. Isolation for Dahaka could definitely cause some trouble. And then we've got the Lava Wave, which is going to help Arrogant Nephalem get experienced in the other lanes during the objective.
Yeah, Ragnaros using that Lava Wave right away. No sense in sitting on that, I suppose. Get those cooldowns rolling.
We've got a big fight going on near the Bruiser camp of Arrogant Nephalem.
The initial Lornado teaches no one any lessons, sadly.
Next shrine is beginning to activate. It's going to be down at the bottom. Arrogant Nephalem is already moving into position to take control of this shrine.
There was a nice ebb and flow to the first objective phase in this game with Nephalem moving in, then Virtual Murky Slayer setting up camp, and then Nephalem. So I wonder if we'll see that again here.
We do have the heroics also for Virtual Murky Slayers. So we've got Zeratul looking for a Void Prison, and there it is.
The gust into the VP. Out comes the Lornado. Again, not having much effect.
Falstad's the first to fall.
Murky Slayer's going to set up camp here and while away on these minions. They're up to, well, they almost caught up. Arrogant Nephalem's still ahead, though, 24-19.
No Legs, the Shinobi asks, is this HGC? It's not HGC, but it is some great amateur Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, last rites on Ragnaros.
Swagnaros is so low as well, but looks like is going to get out. And we've got another Punisher going over to Arrogant Nephalem.
Yep, 2-0 on this objective. This is a Mortar Punisher, so it's not quite as deadly as the first Punisher.
But look at it rip through that fort.
Another Lava Wave washes down middle.
Got Kime pressuring on that Dahaka in the top lane against a noob. And Virtual Murky Slayers is going to go ahead and clean this up. They lost their fort. They were able to save their keep wall.
And there's Arrogant Nephalem taking another siege camp away from Virtual Murky Slayers. They've really been on top of macro game.
Yeah, creating so much pressure on the map. Falstad is going to fly down and pick up the using that bribe to pick up those the siege camp in the bottom. Try to create some pressure for Virtual Murky Slayers in that lane.
Level 13 talents are available for Arrogant Nephalem, so let's see what we have. We have Fell Armor for Gul'dan, Ancient Blessings for Deckard Cain. That's my go-to talent these days. Healing Static for Muradin, Primal Swarm for Dahaka, and Cauterize Wounds for Ragnaros.
Well, we had a gank attempt on Dahaka up in the top lane. Dahaka able to escape and actually get a drag. Everybody walks away safely from that. We're about to have a big engage here in the middle lane.
I wonder if a noob's going to get punished for some of these burrows in.
There's the Void Prison. A noob caught a little in the back, but is going to get the cocoon off on Gul'dan.
And Sea Guy Tai dying to Malthael's last rites. Such a powerful ultimate.
Yeah, I really like... A noob is such a fun tank to watch because you can be so aggressive.
Yep. And basically his entire kit is big play, except for the shield. So highly visual, big impact abilities across the board.
Both teams working on their bruiser camps now.
What do we have for virtual Murky Slayers and 13s here? Self-righteous for white man. Basically doing the full Q build with a Divine Reckoning ultimate. Do have Cocoon out of a noob. I don't know if we ran through these yet.
I didn't go through all of them because stuff started happening.
Exactly.
Last rites, we got 2 stacks on the last rites for Malthael so far. Just in case anybody's interested in some damage numbers, there is your siege damage and your hero damage.
Ragnaros having a great game statistically. Top hero damage on his team. Top siege. Has died twice. Otherwise, the pretty strong game so far. Top performer in terms of hero damage from virtual Murky Slayers looks like Malthael. Zeratul has not notched a kill yet.
We've got virtual Murky Slayers taking initial control of the shrine. Arrogant Nephalem now moving in. Big corruption damage coming out from Trabe on the Gul'dan.
It's just a lot of dancing right now, a lot of poke, a lot of CC skill shots going out. Nothing decisive yet, although we have a tongue from Kime. Responded to with a gust.
Yep. They're not going to let Arrogant Nephalem single someone out and wombo combo them up. That was a great disengage by Falstad.
Swagneros super low. Malthael's trying to get out.
Oh,
actually, a lot of the
Swagneros, Fake News, Nate, a Brewer 2, all of them really, really low. They're going to have to back off. I think they're just going to have to defend this, and they can't go back in with that low of health.
Or with the talent tier missing, right? 16 to 15 now.
Yeah.
In favor of Arrogant Nephalem. So they're going to get their 3rd Punisher here.
Yep, Arrogant Nephalem going to move in and take out this fort before the Punisher even gets there.
We're going to start to see some offensively placed Molten Cores here out of Ragnaros soon if they keep pushing these buildings down.
Yeah, I really like what Virtual Murky Slayers did. They grabbed 2 camps to create some pressure in the other lanes, and now they're all backing to defend.
Yeah, it's a smart counterplay there. Get some value elsewhere on the map. They managed to jump pretty well there. There's a gust disengage.
Yeah, they get that Punisher pulled back really far so they could clean it up. They might be able to defend this keep here.
Speaks well to their defensive abilities.
Noob diving in. We've got a Cocoon going out on a Ragnaros. There's a disengaging Lornado. VP gets 2. Fear does not save Trabe on the Gul'dan. Null Pointer on Deckard is going to fall as well. We've got Tekiladin jumping in with the Molten Core.
Oh, the drag.
Drag into the wave. Wave. I love it.
Nicely played there. Was that a 3-person stun out of Ragnaros' Molten Core form?
Yeah, Ragnaros did all that could be done to try to help his team disengage out of that fight. The lone survivor is going to be Kime on Dahaka. And, ooh, be careful. Be careful, Dahaka. Oh!
This is away his position there. Virtual Murky Slayers keeping their eye on this prize, though.
Yeah.
They want to turn this map red.
Yep, they've got Falstaff working on the siege camp invasion.
So this is a nice little resurgence here on the part of Virtual Murky Slayers, showing that they are not intimidated by the perfect record on the other side of the map.
Yeah, they're playing tough, and I love, like you said, how they went and got all these camps. not only creates pressure for them in the lanes, but it kind of stops Arrogant Nephilim's plan, right, of keeping that lane pressure up that they've been doing all game long.
Yeah, they have to make some choices now. They have to say, well, are we going to stay together? Are we going to focus? Are we going to spread apart? What are we going to do? Which can potentially give a hero like Zeratul a pick on maybe a straggler.
Yeah. We see Virtual Murky Slayers staying somewhat close together, although it looks like Falstad's going to back.
But look at this. Virtual Murky Slayers is actually slightly ahead in XP now. The tables have turned. They're now officially, well, it's just neck and neck now.
Yeah, it's really close. It's a race to 20 at this point. Question is who's going to get there first. We got Arrogant Nephilim picking up the camp in the bottom. The same time as Virtual Murky Slayers grabs their Bruiser camp, and the Shrine is going to activate in the bottom. And here's an invade by Arrogant Nephilim.
By fire be purged. It's going to flow down top lane. If you look at Whitemean's talents, it's Q, it's a desperate plea all the way across.
Oh yeah, you're right. All the same icon.
Yeah. I tend to mix it up a little bit more than that, so it's fun to see this different approach.
I wonder if we're going to see a Molten Core here again. There's a Void Prison, catches 3. Falstad coming in.
Oh, it's too bad Virtual Murky Slayers couldn't find a target outside of that Void Prison to focus down.
Right.
Cocoon comes out on Muradin.
So...
no follow-up on that.
And Arrogant Nephilim has survived all but Last Rites. Last Rites is the only ultimate still available for Virtual Murky Slayers.
And that's a good one to have. You can still create that 5v4 right away using that. But Deckard's keeping everyone pretty healthy over on Arrogant Nephilim's side. Well, until now.
Big cleave damage coming from Zeratul. Trade it. Last Rites, yep, is going to take out Gul'dan. See what Arrogant Nephilim decides to do. They could have to kill it and jump in that fort, but I think they're just going to accept the fact that Virtual Murky Slayers is going to take this Punisher, and they're just going to defend.
Wow, this has been a fantastic back and forth contest. Early on, it was pretty much all Arrogant Nephilim in terms of Punishers, but it's gone the other way here.
Ooh, Segatai.
The game, the stronger.
In trouble on Muradin, possibly.
Murky Slayers, Virtual Murky Slayers doing a great job chaining their abilities together, but unfortunately couldn't get a kill.
Oh, that was really good timing on the lava wave to make sure that Null Pointer was going to get away safely on Deckard. Molten Core.
Yep, using it defensively here against the Arcane Punisher, really deadly version of the Punishers.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely going to save their keep, because Arrogant Nephilim will now be able to clean up this Punisher, and their keep took a little bit of damage, but it still stands, and that's the important thing.
We're entering the 21st minute pretty soon, and Virtual Murky Slayers just painting the map red again. It's going to force Arrogant Nephilim back into the mode they found themselves in before this latest objective phase.
I feel like Virtual Murky Slayers identified the issue and made a correction right in the middle of the game, and I think that is the sign of a very good team. Because you can see they're prioritizing those camps now and not letting Arrogant Nephilim take them all.
Right, huge shift in that regard for sure. They weren't statistically slouches though in that regard, so perhaps it's not a huge surprise. But Arrogant Nephilim was definitely ahead in that category.
We've got Gold Dan going to the bottom lane to clean up this Merc camp. The rest of Arrogant Nephilim went up and made sure that middle fort fell, and now they're being chased by virtual Murky Slayers.
This really aggressive play out of a brew or two to set this up. Last rights is available again.
Killidan getting so low. We have Gul'dan down. VP catches 2. Great blink away by Zeratul to avoid the lava wave, and down goes Ragnaros.
2 kills to none in favor of Virtual Murky Slayers as they continue to push in here. Kime is super low and will die. Malthael getting credit for that kill. And this keeps a goner.
At least the keep, right? Maybe more.
This should be game.
Look at those death timers, yeah.
50 seconds before they have a full team to defend, so it's looking rather grim all of a sudden for the undefeated Arrogant Nephilim.
It is.
Out comes Super Gust.
Super Gust! Oh, and we got the
Also
beast
known as
stepping going on from Nexa there.
The Murky spray. Nobody wants to see that. So many of them. It's kind of like performance art. It's a Banksy moment.
And the core is gonna
steps.
fall. And we no longer have an undefeated team in Division C West. We've got Virtual Murky Slayers taking game 1 off of Arrogant Nephilim. Let's look at some of these end-game stats. Wow, the kills didn't feel that imbalanced in the game, but it was 13-2 in favor of Virtual Murky Slayers.
Yeah, when that game turned around, I think that's where you started to see those numbers grow for Virtual Murky Slayers. Ragnaros having an incredibly strong game statistically, and Malthael getting 5 kills on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, I mean, look at the work. Ragnaros Killidan played Ragnaros beautifully. It's just one of those things where if you lose a big team fight at the end of the game, with those death timers being as high as they are at that point, it can just completely turn the game. And that's what happened. Well played, though, by both teams, for sure.
Oh, yeah. That was anybody's game until pretty late, I felt. It's a good example of how you should keep your chin up. If you're losing a game, you can still come back, make things happen. So Virtual Murky Slayers certainly did that this time.
Yeah.
They lost the first 3 objective phases, but they didn't get down about it, stuck with it. And you see the result, taking down Arrogant Nephilim for the first time this season.
Yeah, big congratulations. I mean, Arrogant Nephilim certainly played fantastic as well, but gotta give the credit.
Yeah, and I just want to look at the healing numbers real quick since Whitemane's news. She basically was on par with Deckard in healing output, 69k to 71. So interesting. It'll be fun to see what how Whitemane measures up statistically once our round 2 stats come in.
Yeah, the stats have been that a lot of the writers, well, I shouldn't say a lot. I know that you wrote about it for your Division A, and then I also think I saw Red Conscript also wrote about it for Division C, and it's very interesting, the analysis that's happening with those statistics.
Yeah, right now healing is kind of a one-man show with Deckard, and then there are 3 others just kind of hanging around. So there's room for a new face. And we might have just seen it here in this last game.
Definitely. Let's see.
So yeah, I wonder what Arrogant Nephilim are talking about right now. Are they going to be able to maintain composure?
We'll see. This is exactly this. We don't know. This is their first loss, and we'll see.
How do they react?
Yeah, exactly. Trying to find, where are you, fake news, Nate? Don't see him online. We are just getting the next map set up for you guys. It's going to be Towers of Doom, which with these two teams is especially exciting, I think.
And it's Virtual Murky's pick, so they took a game off of Arrogant Nephalem on Arrogant Nephalem's map choice.
Mm-hmm.
So could we see an undefeated team suffer a domination tonight?
That's a really good question. I am just going to find any player from Virtual Murky Slayers to invite. We can get the lobby filled up. Describe stuff.
Yeah. I love in jokes.
So how are you guys doing out there in Twitch chat? I hope you enjoyed game one. What do we have here? We got No Legs, the Shinobi. We've got Migs. I just like saying it that way. It's fun. Night 725. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this great matchup between Arrogant Nephalem and Virtual Murky Slayers.
Night 725 in chat making a claim. Can't let White Mane through. She's upside down broken.
Oh. Well, we'll see if we get some bans here. Let me get this. So like we said, Virtual Murky Slayers picked Towers of Doom. Team's just chatting a bit, and we're gonna make sure that we get
Yeah, I think the end of that game may have created a bit of a rivalry situation.
Yeah, yeah. The spring and the B stepping was a little bit intense, I think, but it looks like the teams are good.
Yeah, it looks like they talked it out in lobby chat here. So
yeah, I think we're okay.
I wouldn't mind if it added a little extra spice to the proceedings, though.
Yeah, I have a feeling, you know, sometimes that could actually backfire on you.
Yeah.
If you do a little too much spraying, a little too much B-stepping, it could actually light a fire under your opponent to where they just play with this crazy passion, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, our own team has responded to a spray or two with a little extra fire, so I think it's human nature.
We got, I'm just making sure in all this chatter that I'm seeing the actual captains say they're ready, so we don't watch anything prematurely.
I see an R out
do we have a Trave? Do we have a ready from Trave? Let's just double check. Don't want to launch prematurely. Okay, they're ready. Thank you for sticking with us, chat. I know that you've got to be on the edge of your seat to see what's going to happen on Towers of Doom. And we are too.
Towers of Doom.
So what do you think on that? Do you think we're going to see any respect bans, or we're going to see more of, similar bans that we saw in game one?
I'd be surprised if White Mane didn't disappear here. That's the main one that jumps to mind. I think Anubrak had a really excellent game, so... But it's going to be Apather.
Okay. I know this can be a very good map for Apather. And no Asmodan either.
Asmodan is kind of the new Chromie in terms of poking out the objectives on this map, in addition to his general brokenness. So,
right.
Not a surprising ban here. And there's the White Mane ban. It was just
respect.
It was just too much to deal with.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody watching who plays in Division C might be picking up on some stuff here. Maybe the prioritization of White Mane went up a notch or two.
Yeah, we've got Synchrony joining us in chat. Hello, welcome. Thanks for coming by. We're on game 2 between Arrogant Nephalem and Virtual Murky Slayers. Virtual Murky Slayers took down the 8-0 Titan last game in game 1, and that one was on Infernal Shrines.
Oh, I think I said 6-0 earlier. I'm looking at Stats of the Storm.
Yeah, I actually checked the standings
It's a
just
little
now, and
behind.
they're 8-0 now. Yep.
So I apologize for that, Arrogant Nephilim.
So we've got Jaina denied from Arrogant Nephilim again, one of their favorite heroes. We've got Deckard, which Arrogant Nephilim prioritizes very highly, going over to them. And there's that Zeratul again, this time with the Urel for Virtual Murky Slayers. They really like that Zeratul.
Yeah, not the most common of picks statistically. So I guess they really liked maybe the vision that Zeratul was providing. It's doing a lot of scouting in that first game.
Oh, turnabout is fair play. We've got Arrogant Nephilim picking up the Malthael this time, and they'll be using Johanna as their main tank.
Yeah, Arrogant Nephilim saying, hey, we can administer those last rites too. Let's see how you like it. And they have played Malthael once before, maybe more, but this is as of round 1 stats.
Do you think we might see any globals coming out for either team? Maybe a Dahaka or possibly the Falstad again for Virtual Murky Slayers?
I mean, why not? They're available, and we saw 2 of them last game, so
yeah,
it definitely fit with precedent. And there's that Anubarak ban.
Yeah, the Anubarak really did some work last game for Virtual Murky Slayers. That does open other stuff, though, so...
Gonna see some new warrior here.
Garrosh still on the table. Diablo still on the table. Oh!
New Kel'Thuzad.
Okay, we've got Kel'Thuzad and we've got Malfurion. So a lot of roots. Yep.
Stuns. Bit of an X factor, though. I don't think Kel'Thuzad was really notching very many wins so far this season, so I wonder what will happen this time.
I'm intrigued. And the response from Arrogant Nephilim is Genji Lunara.
Yeah, I wonder if Arrogant Nephilim saw the Kel'Thuzad and they thought, well, if you're going to throw us something made out of tissue, we'll rip through it with a ninja sword.
Yeah, and I like the combination of the Lunara with the Genji, because you've got the Lunara poisons kind of softening up the targets, and Genji just waiting for them to get down into that kill zone.
Ooh, the
Stitches. We've got Stitches with follow-up roots, stun. Oh, this could be interesting.
It's going to be a very different style of play, I think, this game from Virtual Murky Slayers. They don't have dive, really. Which is kind of what they were all about in the last game with the Anubarak, so...
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is going to be more like the hang back, wait to get the target to come to you, blow them up, and, you know, hold them there with the roots. So what do you think? Is there a comp you think is a little bit better that you prefer?
Ooh, well, in terms of pure team fighting, Arrogant Nephilim's probably the draft I would prefer to be using. Virtual Murky Slayer's comp is really interesting. I'm not sure what to say about it exactly. I like the stay-at-home Stitches with the stay-at-home Kel'Thuzad. I mean, they have potential for such huge combo plays. Arrogant Nephilim has 2 finishers, though.
Right, yeah, I was thinking
with Genji and Last Rites Malthael.
Right, so if Lunara can just do some work. Yeah. All right, well, let's get our teams introduced. On the blue side, we've got Arrogant Nephilim, and this is going to be Trabe on that Lunara. Dekiladin is going to be playing Genji. Malthael will be played by Kime. Deckard by Null Pointer, and Segatai will be on Johanna.
All right, Virtual Murky Slayers is your red team. Tonight, Malfurion's going to be played by Swagneros, Zeratul played by Fake News Nate, Stitches played by a Brewer 2, Urel played by Seabrisket, and Kel'Thuzad is going to be piloted by Naxa Maxa.
That name is so fun to say. Next.
And it looks cool on screen.
It really does.
And it kind of checks out with Kel'Thuzad, Nax Ramus.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Maybe they should have banned Kel'Thuzad for that reason alone.
Might have suspected something at any rate. What flavor of Decker do we have this game? We have a Sapphire being chosen at level 1, so going for that absurdly strong slow every 30 seconds potentially. But these scrolls are just going to be, well, not for stacking purposes early on anyway. Top lane is not Urel.
No, it's Zeratul right now, which is interesting. We've got an engage here by virtual Murky Slayers, but they're not going to get first blood quite yet.
We'll have to keep an eye on these Kel'Thuzad stacks. The faster those accumulate, the faster Kel'Thuzad can potentially take over a game.
Yeah, that blight.
And new Kel'Thuzad gets what, the ice spike as a part
Right.
of that quest. So
Right.
what is it, 15 stacks, I believe?
Yeah, I saw there's something for 15 and something for 30. Both teams working on their pumpkin camps. I'm just gonna call them pumpkin camps because
Do it.
yeah.
Gets me in the mood for my favorite season, which is right around the corner, thankfully. Fall can't get here.
Thankfully,
fast
I
enough.
get it. I get it.
Oh, that was unintentional, but I'll say it was calculated, just for the record.
Say good tie. Oh, we've got Null Pointer getting hooked by Stitches.
Little disengage scroll there, perhaps. Kel'Thuzad looking to land those chains.
Both teams are showing some real disengage skills.
Yeah, they're not really wanting to go full on yet. Just kind of keeping this XP level parity going. You definitely don't want to fall behind on XP in, well, any game of Heroes of the Storm, but on this map especially.
We've got in the chat, No Legs, the Shinobi, is saying that 100 charge that a KTZ combo is going to get ruined by VP at some point.
Ooh, there's a prediction coming out of chat. I like it. Let's see if it comes true. So we have 3 altars activating, right? Meow.
Yeah, so we've got Zeratul picking up the upper right for Virtual Murky Slayers, and we've got Malthael moving in to do the same in the upper left, although Stitches trying to wreck that plan. Zeratul getting in on Genji. Oh, to kill it and just escapes.
Yeah, bot is really busy right now. As well with a 3-on-3 trade, almost dying down
wow.
to 7 health. I said 7 health, ladies and gentlemen, and still able to slink away.
That's incredible that he survived that. We do have 2 of the shrines going over to Virtual Murky Slayer, so they'll take a 36-32 lead on core damage.
Looks like we have a slam build Stitches so far. Cleave-based Zeratul. What else are we seeing here? Shando's Clarity and Vengeful Roots out of Malfurion. So the Treant, which is pretty smart for poking purposes.
Right. Stop the channel.
Yeah, interrupt those channels. Lunara took Nature's Calling. That's my favorite when I play her.
Eric
And we're almost
Nephalem
to level 7 talents.
working on their pumpkins again.
Stitch is going with Toxic Gas. We have Divine Steed out of Urel. Wormhole out of Zeratul.
Kime in trouble, big trouble, stunned and killed, but Seabrisket is going to fall as well on the URL. Hey, I rhymed.
Hey, you're a poet. and didn't know it.
We've got Arrogant Nephalem trying to invade the pumpkin camp for virtual Murky Slayers, but Kel'Thuzad and Swagneros on that Malfurion are there, but they are not going to be able to stop it.
Yeah, nice take from Arrogant Nephilim there.
They've got double pumpkin camps heading down the bottom lane, which is also where our single altar, is going to spawn.
This should be an interesting clash here if Virtual Murky Slayers can get in there in time.
Beautiful interrupt by Zeratul, blinking in and wormholing away. To kill it and in there real deep on the Genji. It's going to get punished by Zeratul. Seabrisket.
Oh, that fabled survivability from Urel definitely coming into play there.
A Brewer 2 getting really low as well is going to fall. So we've got Johanna and Genji down for Arrogant Nephilim and Stitches down for Virtual Murky Slayers, but that's a 4v3.
Kime stepping up saying, hey, I can play Malthael too. Securing that kill on Stitches.
Swagneros and Seabrisket taking so much poison damage right now.
But Seabrisket just won't die.
Genji's
He can't be
back.
safe from Malfurion.
Genji's back, and everybody should be very afraid.
Nice use of the instant mount by Seabrisket to get out of that root.
Oh, wow, and that actually saves Urel's life. You're absolutely right. That does allow Arrogant Nephilim to go ahead and channel the altar, and we're all tied up, 32 to 32.
Arrogant Nephilim is going to hit 10 first, though, and they're already pressuring this all-important bottom keep. The bottom lane, so critical to this map.
Yeah, with those two pumpkin camps that can constantly add so much pressure down there, especially when you have to choose between letting pumpkins go at your core or getting to the objective, the altar. Arrogant Nephilim heading back to grab their pumpkin camp.
Let's look at some of these ultimates, shall we? We have
Let's.
Shadow Fisher, Sacred Ground, Gorge from Stitches, Void Prison out of Zeratul again, and Tranquility out of Malfurion.
Nice. And over on Arrogant Nephilim, we've got Thornwood Vine, so some safe poking for Lunara. X-Strike for the Genji. Of course, we got the Last Rites, which was expected. We've got Lornado and Blessed Shield from Johanna.
That extra stun out of Johanna could really come into play here as we get into a full-on team fight. Void Prism is down.
Catches one. The Lunara. Trabe trying to get away and will make it out.
Trabe has had an amazing journey so far, being so low several times. The heart rate must be elevated over there.
I would think so. Lunara is all healed up and ready to go. One more time, we've got two altars. One in the very bottom and one just above it here.
The blind misses Zeratul, I think, but not the pull-in. It's going to interrupt that capture.
Look how...
Tornado.
Oh, Seabrisket is going to fall. Last Rites down, Roots, Lornado, everything used to get rid of that Urel. She's that hard to kill, people.
It's true, although she has died twice now. The unkillable has fallen twice.
And Arrogant Nephilim is going to pick up both altars.
That's right. It's going to give them a lead of 32 to 24.
Segatai taking big damage from the fort on the Johanna is going to need to back out a bit. Got
Nice hook there.
yeah. Malthael able to escape.
Kind of a warning shot. Lornado. Not much danger, and there's more of a disengage tool. You can do that with Lornado. The cooldown's short enough that you can sort of be liberal with using it.
Those, I find, are some of the most fun ultimates in the game.
the short cooldown.
Yeah, things where you really feel like you're getting a lot of work out of your heroic ability.
Or something like Thornwood Vine, where it's basically just another ability.
Right.
A bit of a lull here as we go into map management mode. Urel just kind of poking around bot.
Lull over. We've got a boss play coming out from Virtual Murky Slayers. Zeratul getting very low.
But staying involved, I like it. You only need 1 HP.
Kime is gonna sniff this out, but that
Fantastic
did end
kick
up.
there.
They did pick up the boss, but in return, Arrogant Nephalem got a pick on Urel, and they will take down this fort. And this is great
That's huge.
timing for them with the shrines, the altars activating in just a
And
few
we
seconds.
have a lone pumpkin bottom lane. It's going to score a core hit.
Oh, yep, there it goes.
Do not disappoint.
Meanwhile, Swagneros is capping the right altar.
Nara hooked, but not enough follow-up to get a kill. So where are we at now? We've got Arrogant Nephalem with 25 points left on their core. 18 left for Virtual Murky Slayers. But if you watch any Heroes of the Storm, you're probably aware of the fact that this map, in particular, is never over until it's over. We've got a hook and a gorge on Malthael. Can Malthael get out? No. Big team fight in the bottom lane.
Yeah, of course, all the action moves down here. It's so important.
Arrogant Nephalem trying to protect that fort that they took over from Virtual Murky Slayers.
Heroes, I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the battle.
Yeah, this is the pickle you don't want to end up in. Virtual Murky Slayers finds themselves having to solve this problem. Not only have they lost map tempo with this bottom lane, they are a little bit behind on XP. It's a combination you don't want to have.
Right.
There is a siege camp available right above the action here. You have to think the Arrogant Nephilim's going to try to go grab it soon.
Yes. They're doing a
What's he
lot
doing?
of poison damage. Maxa getting a little low back there. This is going to be triple altars. So Arrogant Nephalem held up Virtual Murky Slayers as long as they could. Virtual Murky Slayers does get their fort back in the bottom.
It's actually a really great defense by Virtual Murky Slayers. They didn't lose the siege
Oh!
camp, they took back their keep.
How did Deckard get that channel off?
Pretty decent Lornado there, moving Seabrisket into a dangerous position, but nothing really comes of it.
We've got Malthael overstealing another altar. And now Arrogant Nephalem is going to be able to fall back. They're going to get all three? Maybe. Here comes Zeratul. The Killadin in there very deep. Has to back off. Seabrisket.
To kill it in a little scary moment there, but you know, it's Genji. So
Oh, big Kel'Thuzad. Oh, we've got Last Strikes, but it does not kill Stitches.
3 members of Arrogant Nephilim caught in the Void Prison.
Malthael's already down. Seabrisket does not fall, but Genji does. Wow, what a team fight by Virtual Murky Slayers.
So that problem that they had to solve, I think they solved it. Virtual Murky Slayers is up 16 to 15 now. They have their bottom lane all figured out. The only problem is the 25 to 6. But if they can win more of these team fights as the death timers get longer, they can completely reverse that score.
Yeah, you see them just aggressively moving in. They can. They've got numbers advantage. They've got the pumpkin camp here from the side of Arrogant Nephalem.
Kel'Thuzad is fully stacked, of course, so that's probably contributing to this turnaround for them.
Here's another look at talent choices. Got level 16s coming in for Arrogant Nephalem.
unfair advantage out of Lunara.
Oh, no pointers hooked. Beautiful follow-up by Kel'Thuzad. That's one dead Deckard Cain. Tranquility. Another Last Rites doesn't get a kill on Uriel there.
And now we're seeing the inverse of what happened earlier. Virtual Murky Slayers applying pressure on this bottom lane.
And they are going to also channel the altar.
Yeah, we're going to see a very close down-to-the-wire match if Virtual Murky Slayers can keep this up.
The boss is up
Keep
again. Here's
Keep
some
getting a kill here and there.
yeah. Here's some damage information for you guys. Siege damage, hero damage. Lunara doing work for Arrogant Nephalem. And am I reading that right? Stitches?
Yeah, Stitches is involved.
Holy.
That siege damage,
Holy cow.
almost 100k. Only one death. Quite a game for a brew or two.
Absolutely. All right.
The gorge on Malthael. Watch out for
Naxamaxa is gonna fall. I have to think that Swagneros on the Malfurion is gone. A brewer or two. He's like, I don't care if we're 2v5. I'm still gonna try to get a hook in a gorge.
Zeratul dying right next to the well took poison. There could easily have been a Lunara laugh right there. If the game wanted to be cruel.
Got Sea Brisket picking up the top fort for Virtual Murky Slayers, and this time we're just going to have a single altar in the bottom. We've got Arrogant Nephalem going to grab the boss. That'll be another 4 points for them. That's going to take the core down to 2 for Virtual Murky Slayers.
Well,
but look at the map though. Odd thought. Look at the forts.
Take the altars and put an end.
Yeah, there's
Blue team has destroyed a
there's some maintenance that had to be done there by Arrogant Nephalem for sure. Fortunately for Virtual Murky Slayers, they happened to die far enough away from the spawn of this altar that they could actually return as a full team and capture this.
We've got a big fight over the pumpkin camp here. Genji is going to finish off Stitches.
And now we're up to 60-second death timers. This is where the game can get real scary with just one kill.
The good news for Virtual Murky Slayers is they did pick up that bottom altar, so they're safe for now.
Still in it. Boss will be up in a long time from now, so they don't have to worry about that. It's like almost 4 minutes. Be surprised if this game lasts that long.
We've got Keladorn in chat saying, RIP VMS? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's still... anything can happen here.
Especially if they can defend this. It's going to be tough, though, with Stitches out of the picture. This will be a really big deal for Arrogant Nephalem.
We've got a pause.
Huge lag spikes reported.
Huge lag spikes. Okay. So taking it back to our cams while we wait out the lag. So we've got 16-2. Only 2 points left on the core for Virtual Murky Slayers. We've got Arrogant Nephalem moving in, taking this bottom fort again. What are your thoughts? How do you think this might unfold?
Well, so much is going to depend upon what Arrogant Nephalem does with the momentum they're gaining right here in this bottom lane. How are they going to parlay that into success? It looks like we're having a single altar spawn again. Am I seeing that correctly?
Yes, it's going to be single. Yep.
That's going to help out Virtual Murky Slayers a little bit. Last game I cast on here, it was a similar situation, and it was a 2 altar spawn, and the team that was ahead went ahead and won. So,
I mean, I think this is beneficial for Virtual Murky Slayers because there's only one win condition. They don't have to decide. They don't have to split anywhere. They know that's where they need to be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I know it could get so awkward when there's multiple altars and you only have a couple points left on your core because you have no choice, right? You have to split everybody off to protect all those possible ways you can lose. So I feel like Virtual Murky Slayers, they're in okay position considering everything. They only have to win if they can win a fight at that single altar. That could position them. The boss will be coming up, you know, like probably after all that fighting has happened. I mean, they still got a shot here for sure.
Can they manage to kill Trabe on Lunara? It's been so low so often, and Lunara's their top hero damager, so the last fight could come down to something like that. Also, Arrogant Nephalem just have such a strong finishing core here with Genji and Malthael.
Yep, I am
It's
counting down for the teams. We are about to restart the game. Here we go.
See what this reworked Kel'Thuzad can do. That'll also be pretty interesting to look out for.
Sorry for the the chat covering the screen a bit there from the countdown. There we go. It's gone.
Actually, the bottom keep did not fall.
You're
so
right. I
that's
definitely
huge.
thought Arrogant Nephalem was going to get that.
Yeah, I assumed that too. That's really significant. They don't have to worry about fighting with the top. Ooh, look at this hook.
Or Johanna, though. Johanna might be able to get out.
Not afraid of KTZ's CCs there.
Wow. The tongue twister.
Letters, alphabet soup. But Trabe already trying to capture. Seabrisket's going to jump in to interrupt.
Yep, here comes Zeratul. Oh, last rites went out on Yrel. Malfurion down. Hook onto Killing, and now the Genji is also going to fall.
Yeah.
A Brewer 2 going down to Malthael in the bottom.
3 for 1 so far.
Lunara versus Kel'Thuzad, mutual destruction. Only one player standing in the way of Arrogant Nephalem taking this match. This game.
Zeratul goes right back in, faking his mate, is not going to just walk away from this. This is pretty amazing sustain coming out of this. Relatively squishy hero.
Oh, and there goes Zeratul. That's a GG. Game 2 is going over to Arrogant Nephalem. What an amazing series.
Arrogant Nephalem responding well to the first loss of the season. Finding a draw.
Yeah. I'm pulling up the end game stats just so we can take a quick look here. We've got 15-9 in kills. Lots of work coming out from Lunara, softening up those targets so that Malthael and Genji can go in and get those kills. Zeratul, look at the damage coming out from Zeratul. And like you said at the end there, was pretty amazing. He was 1v3ing for quite some time.
Yeah, that was a fun finish. Probably not so much for Virtual Murky Slayers, but it was fun to watch.
I am going
Great game by Trabe, as we said earlier.
Yeah.
Genji with a 6-5-3 line. Malthael getting a lot of work done.
Pretty amazing.
Great game.
Trabe has agreed to an interview. Good news, everyone.
Good news.
Let's hop up to let's go to lobby 1.
Okay.
Trabe! Hello. Hey, congratulations on bringing it back and getting game 2.
Thank you. Yeah, we had to bring it back for sure. That was that was some game 1 there on Shrines.
Yeah. Man, both of these games were just so well played and so close and so exciting to watch. I kind of don't even know where to start. But let's go ahead and start with game 1 because we've got to start somewhere. And you know, we had scouted you guys in advance. We knew you liked the Jaina and the Decker and Johanna, and it looked like Virtual Murky Slayers did the same thing because they never did let you get on that Jaina. I know you guys love that hero.
We did a lot of sort of the same kind of draft in round 1. We figured teams were gonna probably be aware of that and do some scouting. We scouted them. We knew they'd scout us as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had to be a little more flexible than maybe we'd like, but we worked hard in the off season to making sure we had plenty of heroes in every role, plenty of heroes that we could swap onto if needed.
Right.
So,
and you guys
made it work. Didn't work quite as well game 1 as maybe we would have liked, but
yeah, and you guys banned the Abathur, so clearly that must be something Virtual Murky Slayers likes to play. Just didn't want to deal with.
Well, we scouted them and we said these guys like Anubarak and they like Zeratul, but those aren't meta heroes. Who cares about Anubarak and Zeratul?
Yeah.
We can beat those. Ban out the ban Garrosh, you know, really protect ourselves.
Yeah.
And then game 2, we said, I think we should ban Anubarak. And if at all possible, we should also ban Zeratul.
Yeah, that Zeratul was pretty nasty. So in game 1, you know, one of the things we were watching, we noticed looking at some of the statistics that you guys are really good at picking up Merc camps. So in game 1, I mean, you guys were putting on a clinic with that, just getting camp after camp after camp, creating so much map pressure. And it kind of felt like somewhere in the middle of the game that Virtual Murky Slayers kind of figured out what was going on and they were able to make an adjustment. Is that what you guys felt as well? Because it seemed like they were getting all the camps then kind of past that point.
Yeah, we definitely love to early game, grab the camps, do quick rotations. We like to get an early lead and just try to snowball that through the objectives into the rest of the game. That usually works really well on shrines, because you've got the map pressure and you're up on XP. You can get to the shrine early, you can get set up. We made sure to draft a comp for good shrine clear, and we were able to get to them first usually.
Yeah.
But we just weren't expecting the level of hard engage and the level of dive and coordination that they brought to it. Whenever we tried to turn it around, White Maiden would just get on the target and keep them up. We couldn't get through them at all in team fights. And it doesn't really matter if you get to the shrine first if they come in and wipe you on the shrine before you can get 40. So we maybe overplayed our hand a little bit. We were thinking, oh, Ragnar should stay out, save Molten Core for the offense, when really we probably need to be popping a little earlier to make sure we actually get the shrine.
Yeah, I mean, we saw on an early shrine just how well that Ragnaros can work on that map with Dekilidin just doing so much work on Rag, getting into the fort there with the Molten Core and making sure that you guys were getting those first Punishers.
Yeah, we tried to play our game the best we could, but I think they saw that we didn't really have a good finisher drafted, and they had a White Mane and a lot of guys that have gusts and dives and teleports, and they knew that if they just came right at us, they'd be able to escape without really getting punished. They did that all game, and we weren't able to punish them.
Yeah, I mean, it was
by them, really well played by them. A very solid game.
Yeah, it was really even, and then it just took that one team fight, you know, and with the death timers where they were, that was all that was needed, but really well played by both sides. Atta, do you have any questions or comments about game 1?
Well, I'm just wondering if you saw a couple of newish heroes tonight in White Mane and the reworked Kel'Thuzad. Did you guys talk at all about, hey, how are we going to approach this when you saw those picks come up in draft, or what was your approach to sort of this new content as a team?
So we've practiced and done some scrims a little bit with White Mane, so we felt like we kind of knew what to expect. Just sort of a similar Utherish kind of thing where if you dive one target really hard, well, that's a mistake. White Mane is not going to allow them to die. It's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so we sort of said, we think White Mane and Deckard are really strong. If they ban one, we'll ban the other one. Otherwise, we just let them through, and we'll get one, and they'll get one. Everything will be great. And they took White Mane, and we took Deckard, and we said, okay, everything's fine. This is great. No problems. And I think we maybe should have changed our calculus on that a little bit and said maybe these two aren't quite equal. Because White Mane is clearly a really strong hero right now. Because she's new, we haven't had the experience playing into her as much.
Right.
And we weren't necessarily as prepared as we thought we were, I think, for the White Mane. So something to focus on before our next matches.
Do you wish now that you had banned her by any chance?
Well, I do, but I also wish we banned the Zeratul and the Anubarak. So Like,
Yeah.
but like also if we banned those, and they get the Asmodan, and they get the Abathur that they like sneaking out. So
Mhm.
they've done a really good job of having 4 or 5 super strong heroes that they're very comfortable on.
Mhm.
You have to pick and choose who you can ban and try to disrupt them best you can. We weren't able to necessarily do that. So
Right.
not the perfect draft from us, but I'm not immediately convinced it could have been way better just with a simple ban swap.
Right. Now, that was your first loss this season in game one. How did you guys handle that? How were you feeling after game one? Did it kind of fire you up? Were you guys a little bummed out? Like, how did that go between games?
Most of the teams, I mean, like we knew we were gonna. Nobody plays 24 games and wins them all. Like we knew a loss was coming. We knew that this is an excellent team. They were 5-1 round one. We knew that these games were going to be close, so we weren't surprised by the loss. I don't really think. Personally, I was tilted out of my mind because I was playing Gul'dan and I hadn't gotten to like use an ability in the last 5 minutes because I would walk up to a fight and get stun chained and it exploded.
Right.
The rest of the team was luckily a little more level-headed, managed to calm me down a little bit. And we just said, yeah, on to game 2.
Nice.
We were here last season. We lost a lot of games last season. So we're very used to sort of game 1, we lost, put it behind us, game 2, let's go. There's time to focus and reflect later. There's time to watch the replay later. But for now, what matters is Towers of Doom and making sure we're prepared to go on that.
Nice. That's a great attitude. So, you changed your strategy a little bit with your bans in game 2. You got rid of the white main, and got rid of the Anub. And how did you feel when you saw the Zeratul pop up so early in the draft for Virtual Murky Slayers?
We knew it was coming. We were hoping it wasn't coming, but we knew it was the same thing where I'm like, oh, we're first pick. Maybe I'll get Jaina. But like, I'm not gonna. We know how they operate. I wasn't gonna get the Jaina, and they were gonna get whichever of those top heroes we didn't ban out.
Right.
So we kind of expected it. We figured without the Anub and without the white main to keep the Zeratul alive and the Anubarak to stop our team from doing anything, we would fare a lot better into the Zeratul.
Mm-hmm.
And we also made sure to actually bring a couple finishers along in the form of Malthael and Genji.
Yeah. So you felt like you were lacking in finishers, so you wanted to make dang sure you had that covered in game 2.
Yeah, very much so. That was our big focus going in there. Was we know that they're going to do a similar draft. They're probably going to try to come in on us or do some weird thing. Last time they did on Towers of Doom, they did 5 specialists. So like we knew something weird was probably going to happen.
Right.
We just wanted to be prepared to make sure that we could secure the kills and stay on our comfort picks. We didn't need to like radically change things, just tinker it a little bit, tune up the places where we thought we messed up in the first round. And luckily we were able to perform a lot better, I think, in the second go round.
Oh yeah, for sure. Were you surprised at the Stitches pick?
Yeah, they when we were doing the scouting, we saw that they played a lot of Anubarak, but everybody, their whole team is super flexible. They'll just say, they're swip around supports every game. They'll swip around who's main tank every game. They're totally willing to make the hero swaps and role swaps they need to do to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured we were going to get a tank. We didn't really know what it would be. I personally wasn't expecting the Stitches, but with the mouth and the KTZ, it made a lot of sense once it showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So it basically, the game just turned into don't get hooked and don't get chained. And if we can avoid both of these things, hopefully we can survive to actually get some damage out on those guys.
Yeah, definitely. What you have some thoughts to questions? I'm sure on game 2. Go for it.
Well, my main question is going to be about character and responding to that game 1, but we already covered that territory. So.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Did you? I noticed the Genji rotation in the draft in game 2 came pretty quickly. I was just wondering at the moment, even though I didn't say anything on stream, if that was a reaction to the squishiness of the Kel'Thuzad pick by any chance, or were you going into game 2 with that mentality of like we want the double finish strength, like the Genji Malthael double finisher strength?
Genji was sort of. I wouldn't say it was our top pick by like a huge margin. But we felt it would do a good job of sort of getting in there and disrupting them. We had problems game 1 with we weren't able to stop them from doing anything. Genji requires focus from the other team and is able to get those kills. So we were sort of planning on it. Seeing the Malfurion, seeing the Kel'Thuzad, we felt it was the right pick. There was some argument that potentially we should go into the Valera, and so there was a little bit of debate on that. but we decided to stay strong. The Genji's worked out well for us in the past, so we brought it out again, and Dak did a great job with it.
I guess I could also ask you on a personal level, maybe you could walk us through your experience of game 2 on that Lunara, because I think at one point you were down to like 7 health, and that seemed to happen to you quite a few times in that game. So maybe there's a first person perspective you can give us real quick about that experience.
Yeah, with both of our drafts, I knew I was going to be the target. Gul'dan in game 1, Lunara in game 2. I'm just the squishy, low mobility damage machine, trying their best to stay alive in a Kel'Thuzad, Zeratul, and Uberak world. I didn't really have any genius plans other than try not to dodge the Deckard potions. That's kind of been a problem in the past, where I just run around and do whatever, and there's potions everywhere, and I'm not picking up any of them.
And your healer's screaming at you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the healer's always screaming at me, even more than usual. I just figured occasionally on Lunara I'll get a little bit greedy and just kind of go in and go wild. But I said, I just knew if I stay back, just try to get poison on everybody, set them up for the Genji. I'm not securing kills. I don't need to go wild. Just stay back, dodge things the best I can, and have Abolish Magic ready if Kel'Thuzad starts nailing his stuff. And even then, staying back only gets you so far into a Zeratul. But yeah, No Pointer did a great job on that Deckard, making sure I was healed up and healthy. And usually when I did die, they had focused enough on me that the rest of the team was able to kind of go in and clean up.
Yeah, and it only happened once, even though you're under all that pressure. Fantastic game, top hero damage.
It felt like a lot more than that, but I'll take it if it was only once.
Yeah, it was only one time. Like I thought was saying, you got low a lot, but most of the time you were able to get out.
You were only mostly dead.
There's a big difference between the two,
That's
for
right,
sure.
That's right.
Well, Trabe, thank you so much for coming on and doing this interview with us. And again, congratulations on the split. I know it's so hard to come back after losing the first game, but you guys just really showed everybody in Division C, that you guys are a mentally tough team, and one loss isn't going to slow you down. And
yeah, there's 2.5 rounds left, so
yeah,
we've taken one on the chin, but we're gonna come back strong and see what we can get done with the rest of the season.
Yep, and well played by virtual Murky Slayers as well. I mean, those were really close games, very exciting. Before we let you go start celebrating with your team, Trabe, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Shout-outs to Beast Coast, our sister team in Division B East. They've had a couple really close games the past few weeks. They've got a couple more coming up against some top teams. It's been really awesome. They were our subs last season, split off and made their own team this time. It's been awesome watching them grow and improve and figure out that maybe picking 3 or 4 specialists is a little too much, and maybe you should limit it to 1 or 2 specialists. But yeah, they've grown a ton over the past 2 weeks. They're a super fun team to watch, so everyone should tune in. Their next game's coming up. So
awesome. And what's next for you guys? Who are you playing next?
We've got, I believe it's Pathetic Wretches on Tuesday, which is going to be another very close match. We had a great split with them last season. They're also 5-1 in round 1, so we're looking forward to that. It's going to be close. I think you're casting it.
Oh, am I? Okay, awesome. Well, I can't wait.
We'll
if I'm not, then I'll try to. Awesome. Well, thanks so much again. And I know everybody is going to be keeping an eye on you guys. You guys are doing fantastic this season. Congratulations, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks for casting. It's been a great season, and we're having a good time with it. So
thanks. We will see you next time. Well, that was well worth the price of admission.
Wow, yeah, fantastic. 2 games, really fun to watch. Hope everyone out there in chat land enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah, I think people did. We've got a lot of people chattering in the Twitter chat, and oh, I love NGS. Everybody is so full of personality. So I thought, if people want to see more of you, where can they find you?
Well, I am a writer for NGS, so you can find my work. It'll pop up. I write about Division A, so you'll see it on the nexusgamingseries.com website. I also stream quite a bit at twitch.tv/oddthought, and I do a lot of NGS casts with broiled beef. So we have our next cast is at 2 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a Div D game, so feel free to stop by and check out what we do over there. And also, I'm on a team with you, so I get to play with you a lot, which is a lot of fun, and hopefully I can co-cast with you some more as well. So thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I had a wonderful time. You always bring some great insight. And for everybody, you can find me at twitch.tv/SwingTime, and on Twitter I'm at SwingTime Gaming. Thank you everybody for joining us and watching tonight. My next cast, I believe, is Sunday at 6 p.m. unless I get crazy tomorrow and pick up an extra game. We'll see. Thank you so much for your support, everyone. Have a wonderful Friday evening, and we will, let's get dramatic. We will see you in the Nexus.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye. Thanks all.